Welcome back. All right, so Sunday, we have games on throughout the day. It's not as busy, though, as the day we just went through. And it'll be done relatively early tomorrow. So it's a different feel altogether from what was Hockey Day in Canada. And by my count, yeah, just the one Canadian team playing. So we start things off at 10 in the morning Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern, 1 p.m. Eastern. New York Rangers at home against Seattle. So I've got two Akbar magnets. I wanted to put one up against the Seattle versus Rangers game, but the Rangers are coming off of a couple of losses, so they should be pretty focused from the start. Now, the New York Rangers won this meeting on October 31st in Seattle, 3-1. Seattle are 14, 25, and 4. They're scoring 2.63 goals per game. They're allowing 3.54. Over their last 10, they are 4 and 6. They did win their last game. Their points percentage is currently .372, so that's well below what I think most of us had expected before the season started. New York Rangers, 28, 13, and 4. They're scoring 2.98 goals per game. They're allowing 2.6. I think they'd like to see their goals for increase to above 3, but they're close, right? Last 10 games, they're 6 and 4. They did lose their last 2 games. Their points percentage is currently .667, which is pretty darn good. 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific start time between the LA Kings and the Pittsburgh Penguins. LA won this meeting on January 13th, 6-2. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow. So for LA, 22, 16, and 7 is their overall record. They're scoring 2.78 goals per game. They're allowing 2.71. So their goal differential is it's in the positive, but it's very close. Last 10 games, 5, 3, and 2 is the record. They lost their last game in extra time. 567 is their points percentage. For the Penguins, 27, 10, and 7 is their overall record. 3.32 goals scored per game. 2.52 goals against per game. That's a ridiculously good amount. Their goals against is fantastic. Last 10 games, they're 7, 1, and 2. They've lost in extra time against Detroit and against Seattle. I get the feeling that this game against LA, they're going to look to send a message. At least they should, right? 693 is the points percentage for Pittsburgh. So they're still pretty close to a 700 points percentage. Then we bump ahead 4 hours to 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific. San Jose in against the Carolina Hurricanes. So I will be able to review these games on their own. This one's 2 hours before these ones get started, so I'll likely do a board just for this game as well and review it separately, and then these 4 games get reviewed in a video of their own. So San Jose in against Carolina. I do see this as kind of a trap game. Both teams are playing the second half of a back-to-back tomorrow, and we'll see if Carolina is able to pull it out. Now, November 22nd in San Jose won this matchup 2-1 in overtime. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow. 22, 19, and 3 is the record for San Jose. They're scoring 2.77 goals per game. They're allowing 3.09. Over their last 10, they are 5, 3, and 2. They lost in overtime against Florida today. 534 is their points percentage. So good enough to be in the mix in the West, wouldn't be anywhere near in the East. The Carolina Hurricanes, 39 and 2 is their record. 3.51 goals scored per game. They're allowing 2.37. Over their last 10, they're 7, 2, and 1. They've won 3 in a row. Their points percentage is a ridiculous 756. But it's not the highest on the board. It's the second highest in the league behind the other one on the board that's first. But it's a ridiculous amount. They can't keep that up, right? So that's the trap magnet. We'll see if it works. 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. So 2 hours later, we get 2 games starting up, including Columbus and Montreal. So for Columbus, they're now 19, 21, and 1. They're scoring 3 goals a game. They're allowing 3.59 goals per game. Over their last 10, they are 4 and 6. They did win their last game. 476 is their points percentage. On the Montreal side, they are 8, 27, and 7 overall. So on the Montreal side, 2.21 goals per game, 3.86 goals against per game. Over their last 10, they are 1, 6, and 3. Their points percentage is .267. That is well below half of what we might have expected from them. This is the first of 3 meetings. They'll meet again on February 12th and April 13th. So Columbus looking to get closer to 500. Montreal, I don't know. They're still playing for pride, so we'll see whether or not they might be able to pull off what might be seen as a mild upset because Columbus's road record isn't fantastic. Also at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern, the Boston Bruins in against the Dallas Stars. This matchup in Boston on October 16th, Boston won it 3-1. I don't remember it being a very exciting game either. But anyways, we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Boston 25-13-3 overall, scoring 3.07 goals per game, allowing 2.71. Over their last 10, they are 7-2-1. They did win their last game. Their points percentage, 646 overall. The Dallas Stars 22-17-2. 2.88 goals scored per game. They're allowing 3.05. So their goal differential is still a negative. Last 10 games, they are 5-5. They did lose their last game spectacularly against Washington. They have a 561 points percentage. And I'm wearing Dallas because they should bounce back tomorrow. After that humiliation against Washington and with Boston coming in, they should be a little more focused. It's Tyler Seguin against his former team. We'll see. But I do hope that Dallas and Boston have a really good game. It'd be great if it went to overtime. Everybody gets points, and maybe Dallas gets the extra point. But it's one of those games I can enjoy that I don't really care who wins. I just enjoy watching it. And I'll be able to give it more attention than I believe I was able to give it on October 16th. So then 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, start time between Minnesota and the New York Islanders. November 7th in Minnesota, the Wild won this meeting 5-2. Minnesota's 26-10-3. Goal differential is big. They're scoring 3.8 goals per game. They're allowing 2.92. Their last 10 games, they are 7-2-1. They've won 4 in a row. Their points percentage is also above 700 at 705. Again, that number just, it seems like there's a lot of teams that have really high points percentages right now. The New York Islanders, not as much, 15-15-6, scoring 2.36 goals per game, allowing 2.61. So what's interesting is they're barely allowing more goals per game than the New York Rangers, but they're scoring more than a half a goal less per game than the Rangers, and that's your difference. Last 10 games, though, they're 7-3, so they've been better than the Rangers, but they're nowhere near the Rangers in the standings. So they need to gain ground a little faster than that. 500 record overall. They did lose their last game. So for the Islanders, they need to get above 500, and they need to start stringing together a lot of wins here. Then we get into the 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific start time for this one. So this is the last game of the day, 7:30 tomorrow. Hockey's all done. Buffalo in against Colorado. So why the Akbar magnet, which again, for people who might be newer to the channel, just says it's a trap. It's an Admiral Akbar magnet. And they were sent to me by a subscriber years ago. We were at the other house when I got them, so it had to be, I think, 4 years ago. But for Buffalo, they're 14-22-7. They're coming off of a win. 2.61 goals per game, allowing 3.42 over their last 10 games. They're 4-5-1. They did win tonight against Arizona. Their points percentage, 407. But Colorado's 31-8-3. They're scoring 4.14 goals per game. They're allowing 2.98. Over their last 10, they're 9-0-1. They've won 9 in a row. They've also won 17 in a row at home. If they win tomorrow, they win that 10th game in a row. That means I do a video on Monday on the winning streak. And I'll talk about the home winning streak too. But if Buffalo beats them tomorrow, I may end up doing a video anyways on Monday, because that'd be very interesting to look at that winning streak with it being done, at least the home winning streak, and talk about that. So 774 is the points percentage for Colorado. That's ridiculous, and it's too high. And so it's another reason why I'm looking at this and saying, you know, this could be the one. This is the first of 2 meetings. They'll meet again on Buffalo on February 19th. And it feels like this could be a game where Colorado, maybe it doesn't happen, right? So it's possible that Colorado and Carolina blow out their opposition tomorrow, and the magnets don't matter. But it's a fun way of looking at it, right? I do enjoy looking at games and saying it could be a trap game. And I do hear that from announcers too, where at the start of a game they'll say this team has to be careful because this could be seen as a trap game, because they could be looking ahead at other opponents. They could be taking this opponent for granted. And with Buffalo, they're playing better right now than the record would tell you. So yeah, they got to be careful. Anyways, let me know your winners in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.